On this week's show, we have these stories.
The 19th Winter Haven stand down for homeless veterans.
These ships are a virtual model of American naval history.
And a final look at the 20th annual Wreaths Across America.
We have more, so stay with us.
Hello, I'm Ryan Steinbach with the VA Voluntary Service Office.
And I'm Catherine Gifford with the South Texas Veterans Healthcare System based in San Antonio. Thanks for watching. The weather was probably as mild as it ever has been for the Winter Haven stand down to assist homeless veterans at the DC VA Medical Center. VA News reporter Dwayne Wingfield and videographer Jay Rosenfelder were there for the 19th Winter Haven and filed this report.
This is the VA homeless stand down that they do every year. These are the great volunteers that help us put this together, and we've had a couple hundred people come through already. At least, right? Mm-hmm. And they've distributed coats that are new that have been contributed, also comfort kits and other clothing items. This is the last stop on their checklist, so that this is a wonderful opportunity for our veterans, and this is a service that's provided here.
Hundreds of homeless and at-risk veterans walked the halls of the DC VA Medical Center at this year's Winter Haven Homeless Stand Down. For Michael DeVoe, an Army veteran, this one was special.
I try to attend it every year because of the pampering that they give the veterans. You know, they give out food, clothing, information about jobs, career training, a whole variety of stuff, and that's why I keep coming back.
This year's Winter Haven Stand Down marked the 19th at the DC VA Medical Center. More than 60 federal, state, and community agencies were on hand to provide support and service to veterans in need.
We're very excited because this is the first Winter Haven where we're offering jobs on site. We had MV Transportation, we had the AFL-CIO here trying to get veterans to work. And so if you get veterans to work, you can potentially prevent them from ever being homeless, or those who are already homeless, you can get them off the street. And these are not just minimum wage jobs. These are jobs where they can provide for their families, because a lot of homeless people have families, but they can't provide for their families and they're too ashamed. So they leave the family. What we want to do is make sure the family unit stays together. So while today was a lot about rescue, we added that prevention piece in today, and that is truly a milestone for our organization.
Veterans and volunteers got a chance to meet and shake hands with VA Deputy Secretary Scott Gould as he walked from one station to another. And when the tour was ended, all he could talk about was how impressed he was with the efforts of those working and the turnout for so many veterans.
I think it's important both for employees and for the veterans themselves. They walk through the door, they get a little bit of a sense that senior leaders are engaged, and then that gets communicated across the entire organization. I'll tell you personally, it's inspiring to me, and I'm drawing my inspiration from the frontline folks I see driving this process forward so successfully today.
Veterans who attended this year's Winter Haven were able to take advantage of medical screenings such as cholesterol, hepatitis, and HIV. Since 2008, nearly 1,000 veterans have received housing through programs of the Washington, D.C. VA Medical Center.
While we're talking about homelessness among veterans, we're happy to report a sharp decline in the rate of homelessness among veterans in 2012. The 2012 Annual Homeless Assessment Report to Congress, prepared by the Department of Housing and Urban Development, estimated there were just more than 62,600 homeless veterans on a single night in January in the United States. That is a 7.2% decline since 2011 and a 17.2% decline since 2009. Now, while the number of homeless people in the U.S. dropped by less than 1%, according to the 2012 survey, veteran homelessness has shown a more robust decline.
The Navy celebrated its 237th birthday recently, and the American veteran marked it with a look at a unique collection of ships.
It's the Rogers Ship Model Collection, and we're sure you will be duly impressed. Take a look.
The Rogers Collection is an armada of 108 ancient model ships on display at the U.S. Naval Academy Museum in Annapolis. Altogether, it constitutes one of the most valuable collections of its kind in the world.
Roughly 50 of them are ancient dockyard models, contemporary models that were built at the same time and place as the ships they look like in the 17th, 18th, and early 19th centuries.
The 50 dockyard models represent nearly every form of warship produced by Britain from 1650 until around 1850. Over time, they've become historically invaluable relics of a bygone era.
These models have lasted hundreds of years, and they're so accurate both on the inside as well as the outside that by studying the models we can learn about the ships. The ships are long gone, but the models are still here.
Master model builder Don Pruill is curator of the collection.
This really is the ultimate position for any type of model builder is to be able to work in a museum like this one, and also to take care of such a prestigious collection as we have here. Our oldest model is 362 years old, and to see the quality and the craftsmanship of how these models were constructed back then without the modern technology that we have today is just incredible, because we can barely duplicate what they did hundreds of years ago.
The collection reflects the state of the art in British shipbuilding at a time when Britain ruled the seas. That period is now remembered as the golden age of sail.
We tried to stress in this gallery when we designed it, among other things, just how amazingly dangerous it was to go to sea on these ships. And it's still dangerous to go to sea.
Alongside the Rogers collection, the museum also hosts thousands of other ship models, many of recent vintage. And they maintain a model shop to build and preserve them.
One really great aspect that we have here at the museum is that we have a terrific volunteer program, not only supporting the rest of the museum, but also the model shop aspect.
Among the volunteers on one recent evening were IT specialist Stephen Seligman, NASA engineer Daniel Kerrigan, and retired Navy Captain Denny McLean.
We have so much knowledge here that's just incredible. And I think it's interesting too, as we build these models, even look at the models, we do have people that kind of tell us what the life was like on some of these. Because we have, veterans coming in here, and some of them served on some of the still ships. They've come in and they've talked about those and just talk about what life was like. And it's always good to look back, especially some of the hard times that people have gone through.
These models are part of the midshipman's legacy. Even though they're British, when most of these models were built, America hadn't been founded, and we were part of the British Empire. The ones that were built subsequent to 1776 were fighting against us. So there's a great deal to learn about the legacy of the American Navy by studying these ancient dockyard ship models.
As a matter of fact, that's the primary reason that they are here.
This museum's main purpose and mission is to support the brigade, to help support the midshipmen here, to learn about past leaders, who they can emulate, strategies on how to solve conflicts. I mean, that's what this is all about.
It is part of every midshipman's preparation, a lens on the past that will help them draw focus on the future.
The American Veteran can be found on the VA homepage, www.va.gov. Just click on Media Room, then Video. You can also watch it on VA's YouTube page, VA's Knowledge Network, the Content Distribution Network, and the Pentagon Channel.
We have a last look in pictures of the 2012 Wreaths Across America activity at VA and other historic cemeteries. It was the 20th annual Wreaths Across America program. Thousands of volunteers placed more than 220,000 wreaths from the Worcester Wreath Company in Maine on graves at more than 550 locations. Two American heroes and champions for veterans and men and women in uniform passed away just before the holidays, and we want to make sure we honor them here. First, Senator Daniel Inouye died on December 17th at the age of 88. Senator Inouye lay in state at the Capitol Rotunda. In a memorial service at the National Cathedral, Inouye was remembered by President Obama, former President Clinton, and Secretary Shinseki. The senator for Hawaii for 40 years was also a Medal of Honor recipient for actions in World War II. On Christmas Eve, actor Charles Durning died at home in Manhattan, New York. He was 89. He participated in the D-Day invasion in 1944, among the first troops to land at Omaha Beach. He received the Silver Star, Bronze Star, and 3 Purple Heart medals for valor and injuries. Durning appeared in more than 200 movies, TV shows, and plays, and once was dubbed the King of Character Actors. Durning was a longtime volunteer at VA and served as a national spokesperson for the VA Voluntary Service. In 2008, Durning received the French Legion of Honor from Marianne Davis, the Voluntary and Community Service Director at the West Los Angeles VA Medical Center.
Did you know? VA has been redesigning the structure and mission of its National Veteran Sports programs and special events for the past couple years. Thus, this new logo for the Adaptive Sports operation. To promote adaptive sports for disabled veterans, VA features Michael Johnson, a disabled Navy veteran and a member of the U.S. Paralympic team, in a new National Public Service announcement. Take a look.
Redefine your mission. Find a sport and get involved.
That's all we have for this week's VA News. I'm Catherine Gifford.
And I'm Ryan Steinbach. Thank you for watching VA News, and have a great day and rest of your week.